In this lesson, we'll conclude a review of Writing Test 9, Section 2. We are on the fourth and final passage, Digging Up Cities, on question number 40. Despite these setbacks, Laura and her team eventually began to uncover some interesting artifacts. In 2012, the team discovered a foundation wall, a network of wooden pipes, and several well bases dating to the 18th century. In August 2013, the archaeologists discovered thousands of objects in a single 15-foot stretch that was likely a garbage disposal site, period, including buttons from Revolutionary War uniforms, clay pipes, and an imported mineral water bottle from Germany. So here we have this independent clause. In 2013, the archaeologists discovered these objects. It was likely a garbage disposal site. And then we have a period including. This creates a fragment because an independent clause with a period and then starting a dependent clause by itself, that's just a fragment. So we can link the two together. We can put a comma and including. It's totally fine. We've seen that before. You could also put which include. We don't know that has a choice. Among these, this is going to be a run-on. This is the correct answer. And a semicolon is just like a period, right? It separates two independent clauses. So the answer is C for number 40. As they cleaned and cataloged the artifacts, the archaeologists took stocks of their finding. The team's discoveries provided a snapshot of the various kinds of construction materials that were used in the 18th century. Colonial era New Yorkers went to great lengths to secure fresh drinking water. And so 41, we want to set up the example that follows. So the team discovered a snapshot of the kinds of construction materials that were used. So if we look further, we've got to read further before we answer this question. They went to great lengths to secure fresh drinking water, and Laura noted that given the effort involved in laying wooden pipes to bring fresh water from surrounding areas, digging very deep wells, brewing alcohol to mask the water's salty taste, and even importing bottled water. So the example that follows is to secure fresh drinking water. And so the various kinds of construction materials, that does not set up the example for drinking water. The numerous rituals associated with hospitality, again, this is not accurate. Public utility planning and infrastructure development. So what is the consumption of fresh drinking water? That is a public utility. This is definitely the choice, nothing about how they were financed. And this is another evidence-based question, so the answer there is C. Laura noted, given the effort involved in laying wooden pipes to bring the fresh water from surrounding areas. And so this is the style and tone. This is a tone question. So given the effort, given the blood, sweat, and tears, it does not consistent. It's kind of colloquial. Given the hassle, again, it's kind of casual. The feats of strength and fortitude, that's a little extreme. It's not consistent with the tone. It's just the effort. This one is no change for number 42. And we've got two more questions. 43 and 44. Though through such discoveries, they tell a story of the city's history in a new way. One of my favorite things is putting together someone's life, Laura said. Through such discoveries, they tell a story. So here, what exactly is the they? It doesn't have a clear antecedent. It's ambiguous. They tell a story. Think about the ambiguous pronoun rule. You always want to replace the subject if it's vague or unclear with, or the pronoun with the actual subject, and think about it. Who's telling the story? It's we again is vague. Colonial era New Yorkers. No, it's the urban archaeologists, because once they dig up these cities, they're discovering all these lost artifacts, telling the story. And this is again is Laura, who's the urban archaeologist. Last question. So this one is D. One of my favorite things is putting together someone's life, Laura said. And so here, 44 states, the writer wants to conclude the passage with a quotation from Laura that illustrates the broad impact of her team's work, which choice most effectively accomplishes this goal. So think about it. She's this urban archaeologist who's digging up the city to find and preserve the history and the artifacts. One of my favorite things is putting together someone's life. Again, that's much too specific. Think about the broader context, what these urban archaeologists do. New York City construction has a lot of steps. Is that really effectively accomplishing her goal that she has many steps? No. Finding the bits and pieces that were actually used by people in the past made New York City history real. This looks good because she's telling a story collectively of the whole city, finding like these little artifacts and then putting them together to make the city's history real. Let's take a look at D. We car archaeological technique monitoring, and we work hand in hand with the contractors. We're part of the team. No, this is not the broader overall goal of what she accomplishes. The answer here is C.